Alright folks, welcome back, and welcome if this is your first time here. My name's Randy, and I'm going to tell you what makes acoustic guitar bellies get big. And it ain't from drinking too much beer. Alright, welcome back folks, thanks for coming back. What makes acoustic guitars get big, these big bellies on them? You know what I mean? We're going to talk about everything that causes that. And probably some things that don't cause it. Had a guy brought a D28 Martin here just last week, dropped it off. And he wanted to know if I could reduce its belly a little bit. The guitar was only like 6 years old or 7. And he said he took real good care of the guitar. He bought it brand new, took very good care of it all the time. He didn't know why it bellied up like that. I said, "You use heavy strings on it?" He said, "No, he used medium gauge strings on it." Anyways, I looked at it last week and called him, looked inside and looked all around, and the braces had been shaved in that guitar. I called him and I said, "Do you know that your braces have been shaved in that guitar quite a lot?" He said, "Yeah, he had it done right after he got the guitar. Not long after he bought it, he had it done." And I said, "Well, dude, that's it had forward shifted bracing. That's where you take the whole X brace and move it this way. That opens up this area down here for a much bigger, boomier sound." And it also had that. This is the guitar, by the way, one of the guitars. It's in the contest, ongoing right now. You can own it. If you choose to get out of the 3. Anyways, he knew, yeah, he said he had the braces shaved like a year after he got it. So it took, I don't know, 5 or 6 years for the top to finally start getting the belly in it. And he wanted me to fix it, and I said, "Dude, I said, I can probably get some of the belly out of it, but with those braces shaved that thin, they're going to come. It's going to come right back. The top's going to come back with the string stress and tension pulling on all the time. And I probably wouldn't even be able to get very much of it out. It was bad. It was pretty bad." His action was pretty high too. I think he plays pretty hard, but he asked me about taking the braces out. And I said, "It's the main X brace that they've shaved, and these voicing bars back here. You'd really have to replace them all, you know. And probably the bridge plate, because it buckled with that belly over time. The bridge plate gets deformed, you know, depending on how bad it is. But you take, alright, let's look at some things here. See, a lot of guitars where the bridge is starting to pull up back here. Okay, you need, if your guitar's doing that, you need to get that fixed immediately, because as that bridge pulls up, your pins, I had a guitar here that the pins were the only thing holding the bridge on there. When the bridge starts to pull up back here, your pins start going at an angle down into the pin holes, and they start jacking this up, this area here. All this pulling that way, and you know, coming up like that, that pulls this whole top up, and there again, there goes your bridge plate getting deformed again. So if your guitar, or if your guitar or someone you know can stick a piece of paper back here, I showed y'all how to do that. Just take a little piece of paper, see if it'll slide anywhere underneath the bridge. This one will not, you see. And if it does, fix that as quick as you can, or you're going to get a belly, man. Plus the bridge is going to probably come clear off eventually. If you over humidify an acoustic guitar, now I'll put like a bowl, a little plastic bowl with a cloth soaking wet down into the hole. Cover the sound hole with something that won't absorb water. Plastic, you know, something like that. That's the way I humidify guitars. But you can't overdo that. You can overdo it. And a lot of times, usually what happens, when you start humidifying that wood gets bigger. It tends to swell up. All that water's, you know, got to go into the wood. It's got to go somewhere. Something's got to change. Well, what changes, the wood gets bigger. And that can cause a belly to start coming up, especially at the same time it's got string stress on it. I've got this guitar tuned down. You should always tune your acoustics down if you're not playing them. And I've got too many to play them all. So anyways, yeah, if you over humidify your guitar, that will also cause the a belly on it. You know, you take a combination of all those things, the bridge pulling up, the braces shaved, string stress on the guitar all the time, all that stuff together, and you know, it's going to get a belly eventually, and it probably won't be very long. Martin, they shift the brace around, and you have your normal X bracing, They got rear shifted bracing where they move the entire X brace back this way. Forward shifted bracing where they move the entire X brace this way. And you know, like I say, moving it forward, that opens all this up. It's not as well braced down here. You just move the braces away from it. And it gives the guitar a really good sound, like shaving braces does. If you shave the braces of the guitar, you can make it twice as loud and sounding better if you know how to do it. But you're weakening the top and you're taking a chance of that belly, you know, forming. I would recommend using as light of string as you can. I use .013 to .056. That's pretty heavy. They call them a medium gauge. I thought I had a set of them here. Yeah, right here, I think. They call that a medium gauge, but those are awful heavy, man. Really, I mean, Tony Rice used a .057 on his low E string. I can't believe he did that. Yeah, first string to the sixth one is .013, .017, .026, .035, .045, and .056. So that's what I use on all my guitars. That's not what on this one. I don't think that's what's on it. That might be the strings that came on this guitar. I can't remember, but if someone wants to win it or chooses it in the contest, I'll string it up with whatever they want. But yeah, you wouldn't think over humidifying a guitar would cause that belly to swell up, but like I say, that water goes into the wood. It goes into the wood, and it's got to go somewhere. It goes into the wood starts getting bigger, swelling up, and you know, the back and side, the whole guitar, the whole body, the entire body swells up. I was playing somebody's guitar, I forget who it was, and it was really light. And I told that dude, I said, man, this thing's dried out. You need to humidify it really bad. And he did, and brought it again, and I played it again, and it was really heavy. I mean, it was like difference in two different guitars. I wasn't sure it was even the same guitar or not. It was so much heavier than it was the other time I saw it. But he got it humidified. He went a little bit over. But the other guy I'm talking about, that had the braces shaved, he like he said, he's always took care of his guitar, and he did. The thing hardly has a scratch on it anywhere, but he had the braces shaved in it and kept it humidified, and probably overshot that a little bit, you know, from time to time. I'd say more than a few times it had been over humidified, maybe for not very long, but long enough, you know, to shove that belly up a little bit more each time. Got them thin braces in there, thinner than even normal. String stress 24/7. It's going to happen, folks. I mean, you know, there's no getting out of it. It is going to happen, and it can happen to you. So anyways, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. People asking me about, you know, how do you get rid of a belly? Yeah, it's very hard to do. I use this thing right here. It's flat. Very dusty, too. And take the bridge off and clamp that to the top of the guitar with the strings and everything off and the bridge. Clamp it to it, put heat on it, keep moisture in there while you're doing it, hang a heat light over it, and you know, leave it that way for as long as you can, weeks if you can do it. And you know, that softens the glue up, and the moisture in there keeps the top from drying out. And eventually, you know, you might get the belly to reduce a little bit, but it's just very hard. You really have to go in there and glue all the braces and flatten it out and glue the braces back, you know, to truly get rid of it. But, you know, that costs money, and most people like to take the shortcut and do it like I just said. Clamp it for, you know, leave it for a while. Get as much of it out that way as you can. But, you know, like I told that guy with the shaved braces, it's just going to come back in a matter of time. Wasn't going to help anything. Anyways, that's how bellies form and what causes it, and very few methods you can do to fix it. I want to say again, I'm sorry to all the messages sent to me that I have not replied to. I can barely read them all. I swear, really, I can barely read all of them. But thank you for them. I appreciate them. Keep them coming. I do reply to, you know, as many as I can, but that ain't very many compared to how many I get. I'm talking about on Facebook and in emails. But if you want your guitar worked on, put guitar repair in the very first thing you say, or in the subject if it's an email. And I kind of look for those, you know. Of course, I don't have to tell you to subscribe if you're not. 90% of the people that watch these videos are not subscribed. You can see all that stuff in YouTube analytics. 90% of the people that watch my videos are not subscribed. So if you're watching this, please do subscribe if the videos help you. I got a few notes on there because I can't remember it too good. You all know about that, right? And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Check out my older videos. There's a ton of wealth in them. Just about anything you need to know about guitars, you can find it in there somewhere. Thanks for watching. Cheers to you. Have a great one, and I'll see you on the next one. Oh yeah, I always forget stuff. I was going to say, when you get a belly, when your guitar gets a belly, depending on how bad it is, of course, if the bridge pulls up, you just change your intonation, believe it or not. If that bridge pulls up, I know people keep playing them that way. They just play it until it pulls off, I guess, or makes the belly so big they can't play it anymore. But you got the width of this saddle right here. If I can get through these cords. The width, not this way, but this way. The width of the saddle to adjust your intonation on an acoustic guitar. So, if that bridge pulls up, then your saddle can move the width of the saddle. Your intonation's going to be out. If the belly's big enough, it's going to throw the intonation out because the saddle hadn't moved from where it was intended to set. I wanted to mention that because I was arguing with the guy about that the other day. He said, your bridge pulling up ain't going to change the intonation. I said, yeah, it will. It don't take very much, man. When you figure you got the width of the saddle is that much, and you move that in any direction, the slightest little bit, it's going to change your intonation. It might fix whatever intonating problems the guitar has, or if it intonates near perfect, it might make it worse. It will make it worse, for sure it will. So I wanted to throw that in. I almost forgot about it. And I was looking at my note, it was the very last thing here. I thought I said everything on there, but I didn't. But now I think I have. Anyways, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Cheers, peace, and goodwill, and good riddance. Okay, see you next time. Anyways, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And I'll say peace and cheers and goodwill to you and contentment.